right, hello wine drinking people. We're back with more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and we have been on a record-breaking pace with these events. Last night we had Beatrice Landolini in, the soon-to-be winemaker at Viticcio and Il Greppi. I think both properties, I don't know, this is the daughter, the next generation, and a great small property located in Greve in Chianti. Hey, if you guys are going there, Beatrice extends her invitation for you to come and stay on the property. And just say you came to this tasting. They'll do a special dinner for you with the family. And, you know, I don't think she's going to remember everybody that was here, but we did have a nice group. Well, we had a sold-out event here at the store. We had 15, 16, 17 people with Steve Sink, Ramo Pici, and Beatrice. And Tony made this incredible lasagna, wild mushroom lasagna with bechamel. It was just off the charts. I thought it was perfect with the Sangiovese-based wines, and even nice with the Cabernet-based wines of Bulgaria. And the first wine we had was a IGT blend, which is called Bere, which means to drink. So, hey, they give you instructions as well as a name for the wine. And this wine is a blend of Sangiovese, Cabernet, and Merlot, and got 90 points on the Spectator. So I'm sure at this price, $14, we offer it for $12.50 that night. It's going to sell out rather quickly. 2009, a great vintage. Very light and pleasant wine, though. You know, it had some nice kind of dried herb note to the light cherry berry fruit. Smooth and round tannins on this wine. Just a very easy drinking, baby super Tuscan. Really great value at that price. But, man, I don't know if I agree with the 90-point rating. I would give the Chianti 90 points. The 2009, which got 87 points. I just don't get sometimes the rating systems here. It's a little misleading because this 2009 Chianti, definitely a step up. Lovely red cherry, kind of wild strawberry, classic Tuscan notes here, Tuscan earth. Really smooth and polished on the palate with lovely structure to this wine. You know, Chianti Sangiovese is a light wine, but it has a lot of nuance, some floral notes, some kind of porcini, mushroom, earthy notes you get from the Chianti Classico region. And they use only natural components in this wine, no pesticides, only like sulfur, you know, sulfur copper sulfide, which is naturally occurring, and it's allowed in organic and biodynamic winemaking. This was an excellent bottle of Chianti Classico and a very reasonably priced wine at under $20. The Chianti Classico Reserva, well, definitely a little step up here for me. Some people said they couldn't tell the difference between the two, but you get a little more concentration in this Reserva 09. And it did say 05 or 7 on our sheet to promote this event, but 09 was in fact what we had. And 09, a very good vintage in Tuscany. This wine had lovely richness to it. 5% Cabernet in the blend here. 5% Merlot in the blend on the first one, 5% Cab on this one. If I got Beatrice right. I don't know. They do make a Beatrice Reserve Chianti Classico also, which is what we had the notes for the 07 in there. So, anyways, regardless, it's 85% Sangiovese by law. It has to be. These wines are more than that. They're both 95% Sangiovese. A lovely amount of richness in this wine, as I mentioned before. Some red berry fruits, some earthy notes showing, some fine earths, lovely concentration, and a lot of length on the finish, which is what separated the Reserva and the regular to me. The Reserva just seemed to be a little longer and a little more complex on the finish, but both wines outstanding. And the Reserva is just a few dollars more, like $26, $25. So both outstanding wines. And then the Greppi. This is a very hot region, and there's only 1,000 acres, something I found out in the DOC of Bulgaria. Maybe a little confusing because the Greppi and the two wines that they make, you know, the baby wine and the big wine, I guess you could call them, Il Greppi and Greppicaya. It's both DOC, you know. So some people look at DOCG as being the top wine. Chianti Classico is a DOCG. Bulgari, a little more recent, the appellation along the Tuscan coast, an area called the La Maremma. Sassicaia is there. Ornellaia is there. Greppicaya. I guess that's why they named it Greppicaya. You have to end the names with an "aya" in this region. There's only 1,000 hectares allowed in the Bulgari region, and if you want to plant more grapes there, someone's got to pull out vineyards or give you the rights to their vineyards to plant. But I guess you could call it Tuscan IGT if you planted in this region, and you couldn't get the Italian government to authorize it. But you know what they say. Money can make anything happen. I'm sure anyone with the right amount of money could get them to authorize another 100 hectares. This wine's a blend of the entry-level wine. The Greppi is a blend, the Greppicante, rather, is a blend of Merlot, Cabernet, and Cabernet Franc. 60% Cabernet, 30% Merlot, 10% Cabernet Franc. Very rich soils here. Really juicy wine. This wine just really forward. Some dark currant, dark plum fruit. Really smooth and polished on the tongue. Lovely balance of dark cocoa and sweet herbs coming through on the finish. An excellent entry-level wine from Bulgaria. Like $25. The Greppi, obviously a big step up. This wine had a lovely concentration here on the nose. Cocoa, licorice, dark cherry, dried figs also. Really dark fruit, really intense. Big and chewy with layers of fruit, earth, and spice showing up on the finish. Dense and rich, but have lovely balance and still finished fresh. A most excellent juice, and it's $50. That's a quarter of the price of Sassicaia and Ornellaia. So one of the better values you have coming out of this region when you look at, what this wine is competing with. And hey, you're always getting extra when you come to Wine Watch. We had one bottle of the 04, which was the very first vintage. We opened it up with Beatrice just to see how this wine was doing. And man, it was still drinking fine. Still had years to go. Very similar nose, sun-dried figs, dark plums, black licorice. Really complex bouquet. But this wine was starting to mellow out just a little bit. But you could tell this wine still had the structure, still had some tannins to resolve, and lovely balance. Most excellent juice. God dang, that was my last bottle of 04 Greppi. The first vintage, we should have kept that for posterity's sake. But hey, that's the right time to open it up when you have the producer here. Thanks to Beatrice and everyone else that attended our Viticcio and Greppi event. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.